Hello. I have just been sprinting up and down the stairs playing with our cat. Now is when he decides it's playtime. None of the rest of the day, but right now, as soon as we're about to start something. Oh, there he goes, sprinting off again. Okay. Anyways. So, welcome to the Rohan house painting tutorial. And here he comes charging back in. Hey, buddy. Hey, buddy. He is so full of energy right now. I gave him 2 treats and he's lost his fucking mind. Oh, you're pushing stuff off the table. Great. Cats. I love them, but they're buttholes. Anyways, lighting a little better. All right, so I'm adding onto my Rohan village, and these are the models from Conquest Creations and their Kingdom of Saxonia Kickstarter. So far, I've printed the whole set of the complete buildings, and my gaming group, the next couple matches for our league are going to be destroying some of these buildings. So for that, they also have models for the buildings once they've been destroyed by the Uruks. So those are what I'm going to be printing up and working on. They come in a handful of pieces, but each little bit it'll assemble into a destroyed building. But while I was making these, I actually had we've used my scenery in tournaments before, which is pretty cool. Pick up some of these bits that blew in. That actually might be a bit of the filament from the printer. Clippers. But I've gotten a lot of questions in our group and area about how I painted them and how I was able to make them so fast. And so I figured I would share that because I've got a bunch more houses to paint up. And then afterwards, we can experiment a little with making these look burned up. Because that's something I haven't done before. But before we get started with the little house, I'm trying to match all the colors, make sure I use them all right. I pulled top out. I don't know what I used top on. Apparently not the sides. Right. But before we get started, let me crack open a bottle. Got some, oh shit. Got some raspberry lambic. And it looks like that cork isn't holding too well, so that is dripping everywhere. I pulled off the, oh dear. That cap smells a little vinegary. Shit. Hey, you want a chemistry lesson real quick? So, the yeast will metabolize the sugars into ethanol. But, if they're not kept right, ethanol will then metabolize into acetic acid. And you're just left with a bunch of vinegar. And that's how malt vinegar is made from beer. Where you've done the same intentionally. But I am curious about this bottle because I don't quite trust it anymore. It could have just gotten and soaked through the cap. That smells exactly like that's all that happened. Alright, smells like the rest of it's fine. But cheers. Raspberry lambic for tonight. And that's sour. I set my bottle aside. Alright, so let's start. We've got the walls, the foundations, and none of these buildings have a roof piece that's all been burned down, but I found an unfinished scrap piece, And I figured I would paint it up just to include the roof with these tutorials. But so the first thing I've done is I've just primed it with some kind of medium dark gray spray paint. I think this is like Rust-Oleum or something. Krylon or something, Krylon. Whichever one you can find for just a few bucks, like any hardware store or Michael's. Oh, I forgot to trim this piece. Wow, I really forgot to trim this piece. My bad. Where's my scalpel? Let me trim this while I talk about the paints. So, because of the size of these, there's no way I'm using any of my miniature paints for these. That would be so much money in paint. Probably a couple $100 in paint, honestly. Just peel these. So for these, whenever I'm doing scenery, I just get those like the generic craft paints. Apple Barrel. What's this other one? Deco Art. Because you can use a lot of it, and it's not like it's going up on display. You might play a game on it, but you're probably going to pack it up and bring out the next set that you have for the next game. It still has some of the brim from printing it, so let me get that. A little bit more. I'm trying not to scrape off all the primer. And I definitely had to prime these multiple times, but just because the FDM printers, even the small gaps, will just kind of capillary action will pull all the primer and paint through. Because these houses are destroyed, I might just glue these on, so I might not. I don't think I'm going to worry too much about them. Alright, let me clean this up. So the paints, first thing I want to start with is the bases, or the foundations. I'm going to get them with a wash of just diluted black paint. Just a little diluted black. You want to prime them a few times, that way you can try and seal them up. Otherwise, anytime you put anything even slightly runny on it, it'll just soak right through. And I've had some of these models I've primed like, or I've washed like 2-3 times, and it just absorbs every time. Yeah. All right, so got 3 brushes. This one's I think a horsehair, but it's just real soft. These other 2 are stiffer. They'll be we're gonna kind of dry brush everything. First, let's start with a black wash for these. And I want to do these first. They have a little time to dry. But I also have to glue. This is the blacksmith model. I have to use the last of the super glue to glue the forge on. That way all the brush strokes are consistent and it doesn't look like an entirely separate piece. Man, this might be the last of the glue in this tube. Get that glued in place. I'll just let that dry a second. All right, so let's get a little black paint. I'm just gonna decent little glop in there. That might be a little much water actually. I don't need too much of this because I'm only doing 3. I did like 7 last time I did houses. Right. I'm just gonna mash that up into a nice thinned wash. I like that meme of Saruman with a Bob Ross afro, painting one angry little Uruks. Now we're going to give him a little friend. Now let's do that 10,000 more times. Alright, so that black wash fine. And you can just brush it on thick. As it dries, it'll seep into the recesses, and we'll yes, gotta get thick enough over here. It's not getting in the cracks. And that'll just make all the bricks stand out. Especially considering this is a burned building, it can go pretty dark. Hey, cat. Different cat. This is Pancakes coming in now. Hey, Pancakes. What's up, buddy? You missed treats. You were too busy doing who the hell knows what somewhere else. You missed treats. It's okay. You deserve it. You deserve to miss treats. You were a butthole. Not today in particular, just in general. He's a butthole. Love you, buddy. Make sure I get in all the cracks and kind of knock some of these bubbles out before I start on the sides. I'm going to try not to get it all over my hands, but I know that's... I'll go over a layer of paper towel down, because this is dripping everywhere. You can see it immediately just starts pulling out of the model, being drawn out. This is always the hardest part, is getting in here. I have a lot of the other Conquest Creation stuff, like the Kingdom of Uruks, the Dwarven City. I have something else there too. Oh, I think they just started another one that's kind of like Osgiliath. Not Osgiliath. Minas Morgul. Alright, I give up on my fingers. Now my only goal is to not wipe the paint away as I brush it on with said fingers. Set this off to the side. What's so funny, honey? Okay, that was funny. Alright, I'm only doing 4 buildings. Oh, that one does have some. Shit, let me start. Let me get this one. This is the stables, but it does have a stone floor. So let me get all the stone done, and this will have a little bit more time to dry then before I start. I have to do the walls for it. All right. Make sure they're all level when I set them down to the sides first. The reason why you want like a soft brush for this part is just so you can just gently push it into just everywhere without swiping it all away as you go. And you'll want stiff brushes for the dry brushing. Getting here is always tough. Looks like I didn't even get the primer in there. It's such a tight spot though, so you can't really see it. So I'm not going to worry about it. top. All right, that one ought to be good. Shove all the walls out of the way. Right. Excuse me. Now this one does have some wood on it. I had to let the forge dry. But this one's also got a really low profile on it. Space. But the forge itself is made out of stone, so we'll get that too. And it's a forge, so it's going to be covered in soot and ash. Then I might have to go into the brush and get back details on here. Brush was a little dry. All right. So that ought to cover the wash for the foundations. Set that to the side. Out of room on my paper, so let me move some shit. All right. So while those dry, got to paint the walls there. Base. I primed them all with this gray, but it's kind of a cooler gray. So I think I normally did them. These are clearly different grays, but they both say gray. What's this one? Dark gray. I think I painted them with dark gray. Because this is a warmer color. It's just a slight... Did I use dark gray? Great, I can't even remember my own recipe. Where's my house? If I recall, I didn't do the insides, so I think... Yeah, I think I used dark gray. Buddy, are you sneezing? I lost my scalpel. There's my scalpel. What the hell was that? Anyways, whatever that squishing noise was. All right, so the black wash will get in there, and that'll fill in all the cracks on the bricks. But now for the walls, I do want a warmer gray. The warmth in the gray will help that dark gray stand out from the brick dark gray. So we'll just go piece by piece. I didn't bother with the insides on the other ones I did, because for the most part, when we leave the roofs on, we're not really going inside the buildings. But these ones have all been destroyed, and they're... Shouldn't have done that. Shouldn't have done that. It's fine. But they've all been destroyed, and bits of them have been exposed. So you can see the insides as they've burned away. They're so hard to hold this way when they're all destroyed like this. Like when they were whole, it was a nice rectangular building I could grasp, but this brush also feels way stiffer than I remember it. I did use a different brush, but well, oh well. I don't care. The top edges where everything was exposed. Why aren't you ever going to go camping, hun? It was just a giant Goliath bird-eating spider. Oh, that's even worse. That thing's huge. Wandering spiders are really poisonous.
And apparently they can get huge.
I did not know that.
Yeah, move your unlocks once they go in there.
Well, they call them that because they like, you know, they're wander, but they also find them in bananas brought to the U.S. Isn't that fun?
That's actually why I do not buy bag bananas.
Isn't that fun, hun?
Yeah, I don't buy.
Isn't that fun?
And I also
do free friend in your bananas.
If there's a box of bananas like at Costco, I'm not gonna reach in and like get anything deeper than the surface level where I can see exactly what I'm touching.
You don't want new friends? A new spider friend? It's got 8 legs, all for hugging.
I think I would die.
It can give you 4 hugs at once.
I would die. Maybe a healthy person, but I'd have.
These are all going to get charred and burned up looking afterwards. So I didn't think, so I put it on a little thick at first, but so there's one. Almost. Put out one side. Hey, at least I didn't forget to turn my microphone on this time. Like 15 minutes into Paper Mario before I missed it. That's little. All right. I think this is the villager house. Yeah, so as part of their Kickstarter, they as it got larger, they released a couple other buildings and then included the destroyed versions. There's also some scattered terrain and some other stuff. Sections of like an exterior wall. So I think all of it got unlocked. They actually had to come up with like some extra stretch goals. I'm so bad at paying attention to like anything I'm in the fandom of. I've just always have been terrible at it. I remember when my roommate told me the new Full Metal Alchemist had come out, I was like, what? I had no idea. And I binged like 50 episodes in one night. Sitting there and I pull my headphones off. I'm just like, all right, I'm gonna go use the restroom. I just hear birds. I'm like, what are birds doing up this late? 7 in the morning. Oh, buddy, were you hanging out with Waffles downstairs? It's big babies. So this is just they're dark gray. I really doubt the camera's picking it up, but it is kind of a tannish brownish gray. It's real faint, but it is a little warmer than the gray I used for the primer. And it does make a visible difference once this is done. Even though this is just the base layer. Okay. The tops. These shouldn't take me too long. I didn't want to just do one on stream. I wanted to do like a bunch at once. Get them all done. One on stream always ends up going much faster than I thought. Building top. That's really half an hour in. All over my hands. Got a middle set. I've got a full exterior wall done up. I think the picture I shared didn't have any of those in it, though. I didn't have them finished at the time. Just they were going to require a few different colors and changes. I just did them separate. But otherwise, when it came to doing the rest of these, I just like sat down and did like 7 buildings in one night. Right now we're going through we've got a ruined merchant house, ruined villager house, ruined blacksmith, and the ruined stables. I think those are the only ruined buildings they had. There was like a small villager house, like a barracks, but that didn't get ruined. Maybe they did. I didn't download it. That's also possible. That one's done. Sticking to everything. Just stable walls real quick. I need my credit card. Renew my credit card. Is it for the cats? Close enough. Close enough. Need a little more. Painting with the wood grain so that makes sure it gets in all the cracks. The stable doesn't have a full model foundation, just that little bit in the model we painted earlier. There's spots where the paint is coming off of my fingertips. Cats, what are you doing? Goofballs. Oh, buddy, don't wipe your ass on the carpet.
I thought I did the cleanup side.
He's such a stinky cat. I've never met a dirtier cat. Really take him out in the garden so we can roll around in the dirt. He loves it. I'm sorry, are you a dog? Cats, such goofballs. I love them. Goober, what are you doing? We got the zoomies right now. Oh, he's got a rubber zip tie. He loves those. He's bouncing all over the walls. It's hard to pick up and hold the paint peeling off on me. Stop wiping your ass on the carpet, buddy. I can't believe he's one of the dumbest cats, but he's figured out, like, if he wipes his butt on the carpet, he doesn't have to lick his butt clean. What a goober. No technique on any of this yet. Here's base coating these. A bit more. Whoops, whoops, whoops. Throwing stuff. I guess I should probably get the bottom of this. At least to an extent. Honey, I don't mean to interrupt your Minecrafting. I think he might be.
Which one is it?
Muffin.
Oh.
Oh, he just took off.
That's the immediate. I gotta go.
He's such a disaster. He is such a disaster animal. We found him in our stairwell, starving. Looks like we think he had been abused. He was pretty banged up, and he was so sweet. How bad is it? Oh boy, did you? Well, I guess you got him before he wiped. Oh my god. The cats seem to save it for streams. I want to become the cat poop streamer. Great. Fucking great. Thanks, buttholes. Yeah, he's a stinky baby. Boy. Oh boy. Right? Like, what did he eat?
He's looking at me like the cute little teddy bear. I saw what just came out of your butt. Don't be lying to me.
Right, like he's so cute, but he's so smelly. He's so gross. Stinky baby. Right. Oh, did I do the inside? Yeah, I did. I did the insides for those two. Cool. I almost forgot about them. Or, well, I forgot they were a thing consciously, but I still did them. This is one of the longer steps, just basing everything. I went through a lot of these little paints painting up all my buildings. Oh, and my almond soul. Pancakes was sitting peacefully. He just got up and ran in to go fight Muffin in the hallway. Thanks, buddy. Dorks. Dorks, dorks, dorks. It's gremlins. Yoink.
Should we put bricks with the other brick stuff? Like, this is what I did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense to you.
Alright, I think this one's all covered. Oh, I left some globs kind of thick in some spots. Missed the tip there, missed the side here. Yeah, looks fine. grab. I'll get this one first. Yeah, that floor is still kind of wet. I'm gonna do most of it with this brush. I've got a smaller brush I can go through, and I'm gonna need to do that with the remaining forge pieces that are on the base of the blacksmith house. Wick a little bit of that out. Almost done with this color. Good question. Do you want to do glass next and all the terracottas and clays?
After the bricks, right? And like andesites and all that.
Yeah.
That'll be good.
I built a giant auto sorter, so we're just kind of organizing it now. Try not to get too covered in paint. Looks like this is actually dried on the first pieces I did. It's already dried. Alright, so that's all for that brush. Let's get bits of the forge with this brush. So it's just like there are some wooden supports on the side of it that are now destroyed by the fire or whatever. Hacking, gnawing, biting, burning.
Oh my.
Should be able to see with this piece now on camera. It is kind of a different gray. It just looks lighter, but it's just because it's wet. It is a lighter color, warmer color, I mean. Ooh, sirens. You don't hear them as much now that we don't live in the ghetto. It's not an exaggeration. We were in a terrible neighborhood. Our neighborhood newsletter was always like, all right, residents, next week we'll be opening up the pool, so please come and join us for our pool opening. Also, on Wednesday night, there was a stabbing over on this street and a sexual assault on that street the next night. And we just go over the window and be like, that was right, oh, right over there. And, oh, right there. Nice, lovely. What a wonderful place we live. I'll set that back up to the other. Back to the sky. It's blending a little bit with the thin paint from the wash, but that's okay because it's the dark corners, and as long as it's just not like the same cool gray as the spray, but I'm fine with that. This will help it look a little more burned if it's uneven. Smoke and soot and spots. Oh, there's the ladder. Oh wow, the black bleeds through. Right. Okay, so foundations are almost dry. While we let those dry, let's do the first coat on the roof. Did I spray the iPad? That's fine. Go to the room. There's the soft brush. Let's get the stiff brush cleaned up. I think last time I did this in the kitchens, I was able to just spray everything in the sink clean, which is what it looks like I'm gonna have to go do. I will be right back. There is. All right, I shall return. And I'm back. I have returned. Let me get a little pad to dry this. All right. All right. You don't want you to mix your colors up too much. Okay, so the roof, even though it's going to wind up this tan color, I do initially coat it this avocado color, and it just kind of because straw is it's just grass, so it's normally green, and it turns yellow as it starts drying. So the less dried bundles of thatch will stay a little green. Yeah, that's fine. But for that, did I do chestnut? may have used chestnut before, but it just doesn't seem... Oh, yeah, maybe. Alright, and this is exactly what we need the stiff brush for. It's really...
Step 2, or is dirt going to be with planes?
We can do dirt. Let's do dirt after stone. All the dirt and gravel and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And there's some special dirts in there, like the netherrack with the shit growing on it. There's dirt that has like mushroom. There's a handful of dirts.
What is rooted dirt?
I believe that's the dirt that's around the spruce trees.
Oh, okay.
Like if you go outside where I got my sniffler.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he got big by the way. My sniffer. You can see the ground's different. All right. And so what you want to do, because these bristles are stiffer, they're not going to get in all the cracks unless you like go like that. But if you drag it across, it'll dry brush and stay on top a lot more. You just gotta do it a handful of times. You don't want to apply it too thick, because then you're just going to cover everything up. And this is the same way I did my Balrog's wings. We're just same way, really, really shallow angle, stiffer brush. You just kind of keep going over it repeatedly in order if you want to make it more intense color-wise. When I was doing these, I also started with the roofs. That way I could like get it all over the whatever these are called, strats, the frame. And you can see now there's a lot of the green showing through underneath. A lot of the edges where more moisture would be trapped and the straw would dry less. Look at the other side too. Just because I need time to let the other stuff dry, so. The roof is really almost the more complicated thing. Even though it's just dry brush after dry brush like this, getting all the colors right was work. First time I did it. Yeah, I'm a little too intense here. A little too hard. Not shallow enough. And then there's little bits that I want to kind of, like you can see here, it's just green, like straight across and line. So I'm just gonna like push the bristles in. Brushes, bristles, English, difficult. And then the top of this never finished printing, so whatever. But yeah, that would be the first coat on the roof. Let that dry up. I'll go rinse the brush again. Well, let's see. Where are we at? Those are still wet. That's still kind of wet. Toss it in here. Let's just go straight to the next wash. And that'll be for the wood. I'm going to take that black wash from earlier. And I've got some dark brown. What's this? Folk art multi-surface satin real brown. I suppose all the fake browns. Yeah, I'm gonna use chocolate, don't I? I mix the chocolate paint with the black paint. Chocolate bar. That's it. Just another little blob of that, because the chocolate ends up being lighter than I would have expected. Just mix those two together. And you can see it kind of lightens up and just becomes this sludgy brown. That is That is thick. I thought ahead though. I didn't think ahead. I didn't plan that at all. You can actually kind of see it separates a little bit into almost like a reddish brown and black. Not right now, I've got it mixed up, but you can catch glimpses of it in the bottom of the bowl as I'm stirring it. It'll start to separate. There's some on the brush. Yeah. Anyways, so that is what I'm going to do the wash for the wood. Go first to last. I think this is the first piece I did. For that, I'm just gotta make sure I cover up every bit of wood. Most of it will actually not pool in the recesses. Oddly enough. They'll kind of pool in the middle of the slats, woods, lumber. It's really kind of amazing, like the number of like major color changes it goes through, and it just looks so much different going through them than if I were to just paint them like a couple of the final colors. So you don't want it like too dark so that it's almost black. Otherwise, it'll just end up looking more like the foundation. This door frames are going to be green. Well, actually, I suppose the exposed part never would have been painted, but I don't know how the Rohirrim build their houses. I wasn't a set designer. I'm not Tolkien himself. That one's still drying. This one next. It's still got a couple spots on it too. Alright, these are looking pretty dry. Oh yeah, there's a real reddish streak in that one. Shit. I'll get covered up. Mix that in a bit more. I just see it on the brush. Anywhere I touch, part of it like comes off and sticks to my finger. Push it around with the brush. Fortunately, a little bit goes a long way, so. If you need to get any more out, you just squeeze your brush along the edge and it'll squeeze some more out, and you can just, whoops, you can just throw it at yourself. Just pick it up and throw it at yourself. And that was a single dip for that whole piece. Okay. Still drying. I think this one's probably next. That was so quick. They also came with some scatter print or scatter tank terrain files for printing. I actually never made any of them. I can't remember what they were. I think it was just barrels and stuff. But I don't think I had my resin printer running at the time. I would like to go back and make more of it. Problem is storage. That's our biggest problem, is storage. When we moved here, we got the largest U-Haul, and it still wasn't enough. And we were like, how do we have this much stuff? We live in a small apartment. How? It was mostly Legos. I'll admit, it was Legos. It's pretty red in there. We have to go back with another smaller U-Haul to get the rest of it. We're saving up to get a house. These last three are still kind of wet. I really got to get around to fixing my model because I turn my head and it just like my face smushes out like a monkey, like a vervet monkey. One of the small ones. How's the roof? Roof is also almost dry. So this is where it kind of proved difficult, was this piece. Because if I put too much of the wash on the inside here, it's going to run down into the floor. Guess while we wait, let's pour myself another glass. It's only 2%, so I could finish the bottle easy. There it is.
good. Then.
It is very good.
It's only 2%.
Yep.
Perfect.
Drinking candy. I think it would make me sick from heartburn because of all the acid in it before I could get drunk on it. Alright, I think this is drying up enough. Alright. The camera just a little bit. Ooh, I missed that with the spray and the base coat. Any spots it goes on, it drips on too much, you can just wick away with the brush pretty easily. Woohoo! Alright. Oh, I did that one.
What does the vein of anthropods go?
I think it was to 5.
Oh boy. Oh yeah, it does.
Soak it up out the corners. It's starting, I did get a little paint. It's still a little damp. So I did mix and blend a little in there.
Okay, so the chests that you've been working on are pretty much empty now. Actually, they are empty now, except for the signs.
I mean the bins where I've been dropping stuff for you?
Yeah, the 3 fins in the copper tower.
Mm-hmm.
What we need, and I'm kind of keeping a list. We need sandstone and all the variants of it. I don't know if you can make like sandstone slabs and stairs and stuff.
I think so.
Okay, because I didn't save any room. I just like left sand as the last thing.
Mm-hmm. If you take sand and put it like in a 4 square, 2x2, you'll make sandstone.
Oh, okay. I'm not gonna do that.
That's nice. I'm not doing it.
No.
We don't have much sand anyways.
I appreciate that. There's just so much thinking. Oh. I gotta get back to my blue road. I've been neglecting it. Also, you know how I was gonna put that little stream around the castle?
Oh yeah, the moat.
Yeah. So anyway, I gotta get back to that too. Anyways, so we need sandstone. We also need the viney cobblestone.
Oh, yeah.
And like the viney, just the mossy, just regular stone, I guess. So we need to find some of that. I'm making mossy cobblestone and mossy stone.
I think it's mossy brick. I don't think there's a mossy stone.
Oh yeah, that's the one, brick.
Okay, I'm gonna try to give this a gap here.
And then
Painting this corner was still wet, so it did flood more.
prism.
Oh, Prismarin's gonna be a bitch,
Okay.
but
Well,
I can get it.
And there's dark prismarine too.
Yeah, I think they each have a whole chunk of stuff they can make.
Oh, nice. That's a great color. And then for terracotta, we want to do all the different unglazed terracottas. Or do we want to? No, we should do the unglazed and then the glazed one. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that sounds good.
Because I can never tell what came from what. Terracottas.
Yeah, Minecraft terracotta colors aren't. No.
And then after the terracotta, we want to do the glaze, right?
Yeah. So you want to do like clay balls, clay blocks, and then terracottas?
Oh, honey, I already mixed clay in with the bricks.
Okay.
I thought about where to put it, but
That's good.
because we use clay to make the bricks.
Alright, so that should cover the walls and everything. Let's just do a little bit on the wooden parts of the forge. And that is too much. That was too much, but it's okay. I got it before it absorbed too much. I wish my computer wasn't such a potato. I'd stream some Minecraft. You can see mine in Dr. Wife's little town. The way I trap the villagers and force them into indentured servitude. Alright, so that should cover all the washes. But while we're at it, not yet. I was gonna do the wash on the roof, but I'll do the next color. I think I do the top next. And we're just gonna. Oh god, what? I might be a dipshit. I very well might be a dipshit. Yeah, I just plopped that bowl right in the paint. All right, whatever. All right, top. Yeah, dark top. This will be the next color for the hay on the roof. I'm only doing one roof, so we only need a little bit. You want to make sure brush is pretty dry for this, because otherwise it'll just blend and become like a regular wet paint. Go down each row inside. Probably still could use the big brush for this. Using the smaller one just gives you a little more control over where it's being applied. Alright, there's a couple spots I could use a little bit more. and there's a couple of loops. All right, to the other side. This side, the other side, I'm just gonna go straight down as I do these. See how it looks different. There's a big difference in visible brush strokes or anything, or paint application. Always keep the really shallow brush strokes. I'm stuck to that one. And ultimately, they look kind of the same. The top is going to dry and look color both at once. It does darken up quite a bit, the top. But we'll let that bit of the roof dry. All right, the wood is still drying. Let me get into here. I'm gonna absorb some of this out of that stable base floor. It's starting to seep into the cobblestones on the bottom. Absorb some of it. I'll cover most of that up with burnt stuff, I guess. Okay. All right. Next up. All right, the wood is still drying, so let's continue with the stone. I'll do that one last because it's still got some wood drying on it. Get these out of the way. Bonk, bonk, bonk. Constantly bonking my stuff into stuff. Alright. Let me go rinse this brush. Where is my mouse? Where'd you go? There it is. I will be right back. Dr. Wife grabbed me a carrot. Alright, I think I can skip the zinc. That's just a dark gray. That I think I need that for rocks, for painting over the bark. Alright, gotta make sure the brush is dry. You can see a lot. There's a bit of water squeezed out of it. More booze. Alright, I'm going to start with the Deco Art Americana Slate Gray. It's kind of a nice medium cool gray. Ooh, I probably should have mixed that. I don't care, it's stone. That, we're going to just do another bright brush. Bricks. We're going to do the whole surface. Because I'll go over the top again later for the burned areas. And just like the roof, keep the brush strokes real shallow. I'm gonna preempt it by doing a little less in the centers. Because on my other houses, to kind of make it look a little shaded, yeah, maybe I didn't do any in the middle. I think I did up to like here, and then a lighter one, and then just a little bit of, just a tiny bit of white to highlight it. To make the stone look kind of dry and scuffed. But since these are all going to be burned, I'm only do like just the outer edges with white. Everything else is going to be charred and covered in ash. Stone foundation bits. Everything is sliding. Stop sliding. Get out of my way. Kitty cat, I hear you.
Which one?
Panny.
Oh.
He's a big baby that waffles. But no, he's not crying right now. Stairs are a pain. Oops. My bad. Again. Alright, so there's one. And if we compare that to the other one, get a decently brighter. Fortunately, this paint dries so quick. Well, I'm just going to do the rest of the stone foundations like one after another. Or like the next steps. Really works out nice because some of the bricks will get like a full coat, some will get like nothing, and so it just makes it look like, you know, variations in stone. Whatever stone they can quarry and mine nearby. One's done too. Yeah, it goes by real quick once you get the base coats on. That one's done. Right. I do want to be a little more careful with this one around the forge, because it's different shapes and there's that bit of wood. But for the parts I don't have to be careful, let me just get those real fast. I immediately push the brush right into the wood. I get going and I stop thinking. I want to just leave that area more burned so I don't have to paint it. But then again, I might as well. If you're fast, you can just wipe the paint off with your fingertip. Kitty cats. Alright, let me get the small brush. Squeeze some of the paint out. Alright, small brush. Actually, I might not need to. Oh, yeah, just a couple spots. Around the tip there, and this side here. All right. Going back to the first piece. Now I'm going to switch to... Oh, here it is. Folk art, matte, pale gray. The pale gray. Squeeze my brush out. Really squeezed out. Almost dry. All right. Pale gray. A little bit. I'm going to start on the edges and kind of work it in. And do some on these, on the exposed rocks, but not too much. Some of these spots here are just kind of amorphous, so I'm just going to get them just to break up their shape a little bit. Stairs. I'm just going to leave the center so that it's still kind of dark. But we do have to do the edges. Let's do these real decently lighter brush strokes so that it's just some of the edges of it. Doesn't go on quite as heavy as the last coat. And then once again, you can, all right, maybe not with the lighting, but you can tell that there's a difference with these. My lighting is a little intense, but honey, are you snacking without me?
Going upstairs if you want some.
I do.
Yeah, behind.
Garrett. orange carrots are the most popular breed of carrot because of Holland.
What?
Because of Holland. But orange is like their national color. So when they saw carrots, even though carrots come in a bunch of colors, they're like, oh shit, orange, hell yeah. So they grew the orange ones all the time. That's what Europe like mostly saw then. I think they're actually the least nutritious of the carrot breeds. I think the purple ones might be the most nutritious ones. There's too much carrot in my face. Alright. It's actually pretty dry, so I'm gonna go straight into the white. Actually, I'll use my small brush for the white. And because these are burned, I really don't want to use much white at all. Just like the very edges and corners. Basically only going to be using enough white to really up the contrast on it. Did I squish my brush too much? Alright, let's put a little bit on the steps. I think I bruised the back of my gums eating a whole carrot at once.
You're so blind to your powder.
Yep. A lot of terracotta colors. Do a little bit on these. This house has almost a bit of a porch area, so we'll leave that with some of the white on it. That was less destroyed by the fire. This whole inner area would have been hit. That whole roof is gone. The little Rohirrim children cooked and put back on the menu. The snack that smiles back. Children. Doorway still stands a little bit. But you can see that makes a much better stone foundation. Good contrast on the bricks. What the fuck do I do to the back of my mouth with this thing? I feel it smelling. Right, anyways. Wait, before I choke myself on a carrot. Just a little bit into the doorway. So I did that on the other one. It just makes it, when you remove the roof, it kind of looks like a little bit of daylight shining through. This isn't going to need it that badly because it's going to be largely destroyed. But since the doorway sections are still going to be standing there, I'm just going to treat it like it was dried and less burned. Use the squid tentacles.
Oh, okay, we need some more.
Oh, don't forget concrete. We can make concrete too. That's another thing.
Oh, geez, really?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure concrete only comes in colored blocks. But it means you can make all the different colors.
Oh, geez.
4 sand, 4 gravel.
I already added a concrete in the middle of stuff. I guess
You're gonna have to empty the entire auto sorter and start over, hun.
I know. That's what it feels like.
I am so uncomfortable. Why did I set this up this way? Why have I done this? Oh, it's so much better. Not twisting my back. Everything's closer. I don't have to move every time I need to get a little more paint on the brush. Well, I still do, I guess, but not as dramatically. Alright, it's good. Right. Forge. Now that I don't have to pick it there, I mean I don't have to lean across my entire build. A little bit here. This outer edge, and that one little lone step. A little bit here. Right here, it's made so that like the last little bricks didn't or like got busted away or something. I'm gonna fill that with some of the mud. Dirt. Cook a clay block.
My block.
Yeah, you take four clay balls and stick them together. Yep. That ought to handle the stonework. Okay. That floor is still drying. Oh, damn. Alright, so while we wait on that. Alright, so that stonework is done. Yeah, yes. Alright. This is where it gets just a teensy bit technical. Teensiest, tiniest little bit. So for this, we're going to use the brown wash. We're going to kind of like just do kind of a U-shaped kind of scoop. And in the outside the U, just plaster it on. Inside the U, well, you want to kind of keep it just under that edge of the each row. Make it worse, make it worse. Let's try this on the other side. I'm just going to go from the corners each time. It does kind of make more of a, this has been sitting here for a long time, getting soggy and mossy kind of vibe to it. This was something I actually would do multiple layers on with it. I'd do it again like on the final coat too, just to help darken everything up. And we'll let that dry too. Now the rest of this dries. Let me take a few minutes to show you what I did with those Dead Marsh Spectres and Goldberry. There's still a work in progress, and it's going to be slow progress because the stuff takes like 24 hours to dry or 12 hours to dry per step. But I got these molds from Green Stuff World. I'm using the 25mm mold and some of the a little thick. Yeah, and you can see bits where it's come up off the edge and gone up the sides. I cut those off, but I'm using the Vallejo water texture. And I gotta apply it in like little batches at a time, just thin layers. But pop it in the mold, pour a little of that in there. It starts to kind of create a little lip around the edge, and then once that's in there, I can just start applying it directly because the lip and the surface tension will hold it in. But I am making little swampy bases for them. To trim it up a little bit. Here's one fresh out of the mold. Bottom's still wet because it's not getting any air. But that one fell over. So this one is fresh out, and it's a little soggy looking. It isn't quite deep yet, but it is a very wet, gooey, mushy, swampy looking base. And then I think this Orc is the one I've done the most on, and I've just been applying it, making it a little thicker. I want these guys to be really squishy looking. And then Goldberry was the first one I did, and I've been doing hers much thicker. Let me put her... Let me swap hands so I'm not blocking the light. I'm going to block the light either way. But let me just awkwardly hold this magnifying glass. Okay. This is all mirrored for me, so I gotta figure it out. Okay. So her base is coming along. It's getting a little thicker. So she is in the walking around in a stream. I'll paint some lily pads on the top once the surface is solid. But this has been a multi-day, multi-step process. I can basically do like I can start like 2 bases a day. But then from there I have to apply it all in really thin layers at a time. Hers is looking pretty smooth and solid. I think I'll paint the lily pads on next. A couple spots I could add a little more, but this guy's got a little lip. I gotta make his thicker. This guy is fresh out, and his rim actually came out pretty good, but it does kind of capillary action does carry it up the plants, so you get like these thick edges where the plants are. So I think next time I do any kind of aquatic base, I'm probably going to any plants going on the edge, I'll do at the end, and then I'll just soak them separately. But while this is still wet, let me toss in the next guy. I'm just going to carefully drip this in drop by drop. Make sure I get his edge. Trying to realize if I really want it to go in there well, I have to like not touch anything with it. I dropped it right on the outside. Oops. Oopsie. Alright, and that swirl it around a little bit. That'll cover the entire rim. Okay. So that guy's gonna sit there like for 12 hours and just dry before I can touch him again. Alright. This newly soaked guy can get a bunch more dripped on. Unfortunately, I got a little on the cap, the tip of this bottle. I'll put him up there so that way it doesn't like stick to my other stuff. It'll just peel right off. Because you can also use this stuff to like make waterfalls just by like I have pieces of glass. You just spread it on there and you can peel it off. I layered it up for my Rohan board to make the little bit of water I had on it. It's flowing right down my hand. Alright, this guy might be full. Ooh, I have 2 paper towels left. Cool. I'll keep one for my hands, so I don't have to keep tugging at this one. Tempted to blot that up and just dry it on the tower, but oh, you know what? I forgot about this stonework. But let me blot these guys. So she needs one more back here. It's looking pretty good. One last layer for her in the front. And this guy could use a little bit. Stuff surface tension is like a double-edged sword. On one hand, you can keep it from overflowing off the edges pretty easily. On the other hand, if it touches like anything, it's gonna like climb up it. All right, let me set those to the side. All right. I forgot this. So let's just very quickly get some of this gray. Since this is completely inside the building, I'm not going to do a lot of the lighter stuff. Might put a little on the entrance, but otherwise, most of this I'm going to burn. I still haven't quite figured out how I'm going to do the burn too, though. I've got some sponges. I might use them to just apply black paint everywhere. No white for this. I think the roof dried faster than the wood. It's still not quite done, though. Paper to myself. Well, we've got a little downtime while it dries still. So, what you been up to? Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Can't believe that happened. That's terrible. Oh my god. Well, you look like you're coping well. I wouldn't wish that on anybody. You are so brave. All right, that's enough small talk. Because this piece didn't finish, I literally ran out of filament like that far from the tip. Just, it's got, that little tip on there. I didn't bother trimming the edge, and that's holding some moisture, so I just whisked that away. Wiped it away. So this will be dry shortly. I had 2 grays. Oh, this one isn't open. Do I have a regular gray that is open? No. Maybe? No. No, 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 no. Did. What is behind my wine bottle? Oh, those are greens. Oh, it's like white there. White brass and dark green. Oh, so I do need to open that gray. I always try to like time stuff so I don't have like a lot of dead air. Downtime. But even with the water on the bases and swapping back and forth between steps, it's still not dry for the wood wash. Well, let's paint the inside of the furnace. The furnace, I'm going to want to be ash, all ash. Burn City Ash. So let me get that, because that'll just be, I'll do that differently, separate from the other stuff. If you ever want to make your own sodium hydroxide, or potassium hydroxide, all you need to do is burn a bunch of hardwood, soak the ash. It'll create sodium or potassium carbonate, I believe. And then you get some lye. You bake the lye. That'll give you calcium oxide into calcium carbonate into calcium oxide, which you can combine with the soda ash, pot ash, number 4, and make sodium hydroxide or potassium hydroxide. Now you know, in case you were ever wondering how alchemists made their own chemicals. A lot of it was actually pretty simple. boil a rock, cook a rock, boil a different rock, combine them together. Because I'm going to want this especially ashy, given that it's a fireplace within a fire. I suppose if I can't get in there to see it while I paint it, I'd probably say bet they're not going to see it while the model's on the table. Be a separate sooty ashy pile around the base. That looks fairly sooted up. Now just wipe that away. There's a little bit of this lighter gray. So on top of it, I'll kind of make it look like old ash. I think you want to use the white ash. That's how you kill a Wendigo, is white ash. Them and skinwalkers can't seem to tolerate it. I don't mean that in the Reddit no sleep skinwalker kind of bullshit. I mean like the actual folklore. I love me some folklore. Ashes in the fireplace. Alright. How is this stuff? Is this stuff fucking dry yet? Okay. I'm gonna paint the stable bits last, or maybe I won't. Maybe I'll just skip them for this stream. If they're because they're all painted the same. There's nothing special about those ones, like this forge or anything, or the roof. Wait, let's do the roof actually, because the roof is also itself going to require more washes. So, and this is khaki. This will be like the next shade up for the hay. This is actually going to be the final shade for the hay, but we're going to do a few washes over it and then under it. Okay. Maybe you'll get that. Through my brush. Okay. Khaki. Start this in the middle so I can kind of darken along the edges. Man, that soaked into the brush and did not come out at all. That U is where I want to apply it the heaviest. No matter where I put the camera, I will always pull my whatever I'm working on out of the view of the camera. A little lighter on the edges. Still have to get in along this edge. You can see that. Can't see the color difference there. Now you can see the color difference. It's still going to look kind of weird at this stage. Not quite going to look like actual hay or an actual thatched roof. Not yet. A little dark, not darker. Thicker. Heavier. And the U. Pick it up. Alright. As that dries. So I got this other bowl. And this is Spanish olive, but I was already almost out of it, so I diluted it and made it a wash a while ago. So it's already a wash. That I'm just going to start applying at the corners. I'm going to apply it in short little streaks underneath the edges. Do it a little thicker, I guess. But the thing is, though, I want to to be close here and farther out down here at the bottom. Kind of a little wedge. Fills in the green again. But then out here in the middle, any of these spots where it stayed darker, I'm just gonna take a little here and there. Anywhere where the color was too intense, came on too strong. This is really gonna have to dry. So there, right there. Any spot where there's corners is where you want to put that. And so that's going to take another little chunk of time to dry. That's all I needed of that green. Oh, my credit card's back. It's returned home to me. I can. Oh, it's all wet. It's my fault. Shit. Credit card back in my phone case while it's all soaked. Alright, let's get back to houses. Let me go rinse this brush. Be right back. Alright, I'm back and I have celery. I love the way the model jumps around sometimes. Like the model was surprised to see me. Alright. This is just gray. It's different than the stone gray. A little warmer looking. Hey, Pancakes. Pancakes has returned. And this entire set is just going to be dry brushed. Tops, edges, sides. Insides. That's a first. The insides. That's a little harder to do. Especially when it turns out the corner's still wet. God damn. Corner's a little dark still. I'm not doing the door frames because they're going to be a different color anyways. Except the outside edge of the doorway. I'm going to assume that wouldn't have been painted in the original design as they built it, so. But the fronts and sides. Hey, buddy, what's up? Hey, kitty cat. Yeah. Tell us all about it, buddy. Or don't tell us about it, fine. Let us know, Pain. Do you want solutions, or you just want to hear? You just want to vent? Venting. Okay. All right. And just like that, done. Oop, that's still wet. God damn it. This one's dry enough. The camera back now. I will shift constantly out of the camera. It's like some innate sixth sense of mine. Someone's got a camera. Hide. No, this is the one camera I want. Follow me. There's going to be one more color for the walls. But I'm also going to take the opportunity to kind of swipe away some of the wet I don't know, he may have left. This is the outside of this piece. Burn the window. Oh, we already did the outside. Inside. So it's so much harder to hit properly. All right. It's done. That's why I just look up and I see my model just bouncing around and stretching and cracking my neck and twisting my head around, and it's like, am I okay? What the hell? If it was this one? Yeah, okay, that's the right gray. They're both gray by the same brand, same name. Who in marketing needs to get chewed out for that one? Alright, that one is done. These little walls for the stable. See, when it's a nice big open thing, it's done. Just like that, the whole side. I gotta go in and get into all these edges. It's gonna be in the ass. So let's just kind of do this methodically. All right. Getting mashed with the brush does kind of help stop all the wet spots from staying wet. Okay, those other posts were burned off. So I can't remember doing the back of those posts. So there wasn't any back to them. They were burned away. Alright, that's good. Let's pull out this wall. It ought to be relatively easy, except for around the front. Alright, let's try to get the inside of this about. No, I'm gonna use a small brush for the inside of this. There's no way I'm getting there without budging something up with this thing. This thing is still wet, but like, whatever. Whatever. That was way more than I needed. Probably. Floor. Leave the corners, the wet. Not wet. You know, dust and stuff gets stuck in the corners. Dirty, unswept. Because it's a stable, and cleaning a stable floor is a Sisyphean endeavor. Because the horses are just going to come in and poop on it. We should know we have cats. Oh, I think I actually did that piece without realizing I'd done it. Alright, that one's done. Small brush. Forge with the small brush too. And this piece looks unburned, but it goes like, I'm gonna carry it so far. I mean, the roof is missing, so whatever it was attached to is burned away. Oh, here it is. I literally left it out so I can do it. Alright. Start on one side. And get the edges as best I can. Okay, this is way easier than I thought. Smack the camera. I might have to start like a drop to mini and smack the camera count. I'm not going to. That's going to take effort. I don't want to do effort. Unless it's funny. Could be funny. Alright. So now I do have one lighter gray, but because this is going to be so burned, I'm only going to apply it on like the farthest edges from burned and ruined stuff. Alright, and this is also gray by the same brand, but it looks lighter. I'll put blonde with it next to the other stuff. Yeah, it is much lighter. So I don't know what the deal is with that. To do black. Starting with, I guess this one. Some of the lower parts of the windowsills. I'm going to do the outside too. I'm going to assume the insides got covered with soot and ash as the little Rohirrim inside burned. Oops, that was close. There was a lot of paint. Alright, I was putting it around the bottom edges of the outsides. This corner gets relatively higher because this one looks like it would have still had some remnants of roof still on it. It's a tiny bit there. That was pretty low. Where the horses poop. I set these to aside because I'm going to need them to measure the bright areas for the rest of the stable. Ooh, my tinnitus is going. Hello. Ooh, that is a loud ring. I don't know which. Okay, this side is the outside. Ooh, that was too much. Oh, what happened, hon?
My cart.
Where are you?
I hopped onto one of the stops on your bridge,
Mm-hmm.
which is super handy, by the way. However, unfortunately, so the walking, running, dog.
Okay. It'll be a bit of a jog. It's a long bridge.
We should keep a I don't know if I mentioned this before, like a little box right there by the bed, and just have spare my cards.
That's just at that one little station on the lake, right?
Yeah, that one. I think I've been using that one a lot because the river kind of branches over there. And I've been coming from one of the branches towards our place, so I intersected the bridge.
Bits of broken wood. Right, booze. Ah, yes. You would like some too? Heard you making strange sounds over there, so I assume yes. Yep. Right. So this is inside. This is outside here. Let's go around. Try an airbrush.
Oh, honey, there are Endermans in the house.
Why are all the Endermen in that house?
I honestly don't know.
We have a house in our town, and we never moved anything into it. It's just an empty house, but all these Endermen are just hanging out in it. It's got a roof. Maybe they avoid the rain in it and then just stay. What's that for? Pair it all up. Pair it. Alright, that's good. I should probably glue these, but that just means something more likely to snap and break. Let's see. We can do some of the details on the house now. I think... No, let's do the roof, because the roof is going to need drying time. So now with this coat, instead of just putting it on willy-nilly, we're going to put it on just like one row at a time. Shite. just try to get just the very edges of everything. All we want to do is just get the very tops of all this. And if we do this just right, we won't have to really do much else on the other steps. So you can still see that underneath it, you still have the darker spots and undertones. But it is kind of overpowering a bit, so we're going to go over it again. You can still see it's like a little lighter here. Okay, well, given the camera and the lighting, you can't see it. I can see it. You're going to have to trust me on that. We're going to hit it with another bit of the dark brown wash. Utility, you can see it's separated. So we can get some of the... Oh, wow, that's actually very red. Okay, I guess I do have to mix it up again. That's interesting. So now we, if you want to... Oh, it broke. Look at that. That's okay. This is a practice piece, example piece. That's when we actually do really want to be careful with how thick we apply it. Just do like one heavy streak right under the edge, and just pat it down to the lower bit. Might take another coat or two of it to really kind of accentuate the depth of the hay. I'll do this almost, I think I'll do it all the way across the bottom and almost all the way across on the next level. That was pretty good. Just a couple spots. If it's too light, I'll add a little bit just to add some depth. keep that from running too far, I'm going to leave this tilted upside down over here in the corner. Why is this over here? Oh yeah, okay. Building accents while that dries. Yeah, stonework is good. Building accents time. And basically just the door frames and the windows. The windows, I do this copper brassy color. We are at 3 hours. We are actually doing pretty good time-wise. Just gotta be careful on the edges, but the rest of it can just kind of be brushed on real quick. Bit in the frame there, though. Got a little bit in the frame there, though.
It's so pretty.
Is that the one that's just arrows, or is it the magenta? What's the purple glaze?
Pretty purple.
Ah, yeah. I think magenta is just like arrows.
Oh. Let's see. Yes, it is.
Oh yeah, honey, concrete comes in concrete and concrete powder.
Oh, jeez. Are those multicolored too, the powder?
Yes.
Oh, are you kidding me?
No.
Damn. Also, I finished the mossy cobblestone.
Oh, nice.
I don't have the bricks though. Oh, jeez. So you
Oh, so I think you just find vines and you just put them on bricks.
right. I just don't have any.
Did you check the plant bin?
Yeah.
Okay.
First spot I went to. I thought I put some in there, but I guess they don't. Oh, because I didn't have any shears. That's why. I'm gonna get some from the lush caves.
I think those are different vines.
Oh.
If you hop on my train and cross the copper bridge, you hop out like right as it hits land. There's vines everywhere.
Does it hit land
On the far side,
not the ocean side?
not the side that we're on.
Glaze just
I don't think so.
oh, gray is nice too.
Oh yeah, there's gray and light gray.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so there's just a little copper on the windows. We go through and do those. Rest my arm a bit. Ding. This video might be like 4 hours long, I think. By the time I'm done. Using the tray because I don't want to like accidentally get paint all over the desk, which is an awkward size. Love copper. Had a coworker call me a low-rent leprechaun because I used to be able to find copper all over the place. Put a bunch of copper bricks on one site. Like, they were just throwing them out. It's like, can I have these? Like, oh, we're just going to toss them. It's like, yeah, I know. Can I have these? Because I'm not just going to toss them. Inside windows. Oh, I never thought about making like a shortened, edited version of this. Posting it separately. I don't know why that didn't occur to me. It's a great idea. I have such fantastic ideas. So many ideas. Yeah, I'll post that as a separate VOD. It's good. I did a little copper on the rocks. I'm just going to blip and smear. Whoops.
We have all the terracotta and glaze too.
I think you're obsessive. Excellent. I love it. Yes, honey?
Oh, concrete. So we need more dye.
Uh-huh.
We have so much red dye.
Uh-huh.
But we need a ton of other dyes.
Uh-huh.
So,
Uh-huh.
like, how do we even get lime?
Uh-huh.
You know, I don't know. I didn't know that was an option.
I do, but I forget. I think you can use green and white.
Let me make a on the list too. So, terracottas are dye. Also carpet.
Mm-hmm.
At some point we want to put carpets in.
Carpet, wool blocks, yeah.
Those are colored too, right?
Yep. Glass is colored.
So
Glass panes.
Yeah.
Even if we only make 2 of something just to put in the filter in the sign. Like, that's enough.
Oh, yeah. For the terracottas, I had to get more,
Clay stuff.
more clay, yeah. Because I need 4 balls for one thing. For one, clay ball.
Well, we should have that barrel of clay right above the other construction items
Huh?
in the copper tower.
We have a box of clay.
Yeah.
Oh.
Did you go out and gather all new clay?
Yeah. Oh, I have enough. I do need clay for the road though. So I'm glad I have terracotta because then I can make the light blue. Apparently you can get light blue terracotta from some kind of shipwreck or underwater sea. What was the place you went to?
It's like a trail I was digging some stuff up at. But there's also like shipwrecks and
The
underwater monuments.
The monument, yeah, that's where.
Okie doke.
Do you want a celery?
No thanks. This is only got one window on the edge here. So broken up and fudged up. Oh boy. I put copper all over that, so yeah, it's fine. I'll just have to burn it extra good. So much of this is going to get like sponged up with black. I think those sponge brushes will work. Having thin flat brushes is really good for getting stuff like the windows, because I can just kind of like put it in right to the edge and just swipe sideways and get the lattice like from just that one edge. Not very accurate though, so it doesn't always work. That should be all the copper. That's not my freaking wash. Good lord. Out. Dark green. Campground green. This is what I did all the door frames for the houses in. Ooh, my elbow. I've had my arm pulled in painting this whole time. It's quite sore. Ow. I don't want it to go on like a super thick good coat. That way it still kind of looks like some peasant painted it over this dried sun bleached wood. Fucking door frames, I always hate painting architectural, not architectural, man-made stuff. It's always, I really like natural scenery the most. So anything needs to look like too smooth or clean, it's like, ugh. All right, there's one frame. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 frames remaining. 7. Ugh. Hooked on a paint palette. All right, that's right. That's right. This is why I didn't do the inner frames on the other houses. This angle for some of them. Look at so far with the brush. Getting like just enough that they're not going to notice it as the house burns. They're going to be more concerned about their house being on fire than they are with finishing their paint job. Gotta get it in just enough around that corner. There we go. Ugh. So for the sake of time, let me finish up this house, and then I'll finish the others off stream. Let that dry a little bit. I'll do the tower, too. I'll do these two real quick. Doorways I did green just to match the whole Rohan motif. This Saxon kingdom. Excuse me, I did a burp. Be a little bit of white trim on these, so I just want to give this other one enough time to dry. Pretty sure I painted this on the stable. A little bit of loose filament up there. It was actually really attached. There you go. Teflon tape. I got so much stuff here on my desk. Did I do all those horse heads white? I think I did. Oh, I did not. Okay, cool. I did the trim. Only the horse heads on the roof. Okay. So, once again, that is not my wash. Let's see how the roof is looking. The roof is looking pretty shaded. Pretty good. Not as defined on that side as this side. But the house is pretty similar. It's very hard to tell because of my lighting, but roof is done. Once you get the little darkened spots in, it really looks like it's layered a little more. Set that aside. Let me get the white trim on these done. I think my white blob dried. Yeah, the white paint dried. Time for new white paint blob. Small one. Teensy one. And it's this trim around the edges, this kind of braided horse pattern. Barely touch it, so you only get the top edges of it. Still exists in a couple spots on here. Hold it so you can see it. All right, and then we'll do the braided pattern on the door frame. Just by keeping it real low, you only hit the braid, the raised pattern. Sounds like my wife just dropped a shampoo bottle. That was pretty loud. Just like that. I didn't do it on the interior of the other houses, but let me do it on these burned ones. Since the burned ones are basically open territory or terrain, you can see everything on them. Oops. I'm still a little damp. Quite a little strong there. Or a little heavy. Got a piece of filament. Okay, that's still slightly damp, so I'm not going to do that one. All right, give me a few minutes. I'm going to run downstairs and try to find a sponge. Like a paintbrush sponge. But... oh, this is the black stuff. Cool. That is a cat fuzz. No, that's not a cat fuzz. That's a filament strand. Come here. Got it. I forgot to drill the holes. The holes on these models are a little small for the pegs, but I'll be right back with this brush. Oh, hi, pancakes. All right. So I found little spongy craft brushes. I'm going to see if they work for what I need to. Okay, let's use a little bit of black. Just a little bit. There we go. Just kind of want it on the whole thing. All right, so start just blotting it on the top. Oh yeah, it's working pretty good. Definitely a burned and destroyed house. Those pesky Dunlendings. Do the inside, then make the outside match. I think I may have filled the sponge up a little too much. Maybe not enough. Taking that corner there. That's looking pretty good. Alright, let's get these burned up edges. And now the burned up front. This is kind of functioning in a similar way to the way I did the white, where it's just kind of hitting the raised parts the most as I sponge it on. Like your wife is sharing treats. Alright, now that I got this side all burned up, I like this brush. Little sponge. Little skooge. Well, I do need a little more paint. These edges are burned. I'm going to start the fire down here around this edge. Some of the flowers, I think.
Oh, and lavenders.
Oh yeah, lavenders. Really get this edge so it's not totally clean. But that isn't quite enough, so let's burn up some of the inner floor. Burn up around the top of this forge and the burned wood. And kind of just smoosh it all around the forge too. That would have been sooty anyways from itself. The wood a bit. Or around the wood a little bit. Sponge is getting squishy. Burn up the side of the forge. It would have been next to the flames of this thing burning, this chunk of wood. It's looking pretty burned. Now, I don't want this little sponge to dry out, so let me give it a I want to be able to use it tomorrow. That actually washed out really well. I didn't expect that. Alright, but for one last thing I want to try, and I'm going to see if this works. This is where the experimentation comes in. I want to make little flamey wispy bits. So let's take a little glob of super glue. A little dot, just a single little dot. And I'm going to glue this cotton pad to it. And this cotton pad, now that I'm looking at it, looks a little woven fabric-y. So it might not work, but it's trying to include a long strip. So I tear it in half, and I put a few more dots in that same spot. This little dot looks promising. And I just smush the whole pad right onto it. I hope it'll kind of tear off and look like just some remaining smoke from the fire. Hey, pancakes. Hey, Pammy. Alright. It looks a little cotton ball-y, but it's a little smoky. This might actually work for what I wanted to do with my Twilight Ring Wraiths. It's actually almost exactly what I want for that. Time to kind of tease it up a little bit. I don't know. Kind of torn on it. What do you think? A little smoky? Not smoky. I think a cotton ball might work better where it's a little longer. A lot of this seems kind of like it's balled and pelled up inside the pad. I'll try the outside. Yeah. Look better if I used a cotton ball, but there we go. One painted One painted Rohan house that has been burned and ruined and destroyed. But so that is how I painted all of my Rohirrim town. And that came apart. Once again, these were the files from Conquest Creations that I got from their Kickstarter a while ago. Is that already a year ago? But actually look and see what my camera's actually looking at. But yeah, I've got a whole box of these we use them in our tournaments, and we're going to be using them for our next couple weeks of games. But at this point, it is almost midnight for me, so I'm going to call it a night. But I'll crack my neck real quick. I think next week I might do a cave troll, but I'm also I just reached out to a few other VTubers. One of them on Reddit was doing a STEM project, so I'm gonna see if I can be part of that, and I want to get some of my home lab stuff back up and transmuting in the garage. I have got glue all over my hand. But I'm tired. I've been drinking, but there's not enough alcohol to get me drunk. So I am going to go to sleep. But I will see you all next week, hopefully sooner. But if I don't, have a good night, and I'll see you later.